At the end of Charli XCX's incredibly well-received album, Brat, we get this sort of reprise song, 365, which uses a variant of the melody from the starting track, 360. However, instead of about 3 minutes in, we hear this. Personally, I think 365 is as close to a perfect song as someone can make. The repetitive melody and lyrics all work to represent the exact message that the song wants to communicate. A toxic repetitiveness of party culture that hides pain and fear in heavy evolving beats and hypnotic rhythm. But when we hear this, it feels like the mask is starting to slip. The lyrics repeat as the melody gets darker, making them feel more and more sinister until they are finally swallowed whole by the most impressive part of this song is its ability to maintain the message in a subtle way by being loud about it. It's not my favourite song, not even on the album, but what Charli sets out to achieve is done. During a very miserable few weeks of my life, being auditorily beaten by the money store became a favourite pastime. The trance-like rhythm of every song, mixed with the layers of electronic instrumental and MC Ride's blaring vocals, all mix so coherently to create a capital H, hard album that just does something. I felt then, and still feel today, that by being such a loud album, it could bring me a strange sort of calm, almost filling the stress levels with this, so none of the could fit in. By leaning into the harsh situation and half-deafening yourself, it distracts from the awfulness of what's happening. Or perhaps it's that same stress, but it has the opposite effect because I'm in control, instead of being helpless. S.C.I.E.N.C.E by Incubus is a pretty normal album, minus the... It is also one of my favourite albums ever. Thank you, Emma. However, right at the end of the album, we get one of the quickest tonal shifts of any album I've recently heard. To make this point, know this album is fast and tight. Every song gets in, does its thing in a usually very funkadelic punk rock way, then is done. But Segue 1 is a sample of an autopsy, the speaker fast, unintelligible in their jargon. This is that same pace as the rest of the album, just without the music, until different from the traditional drums from the rest of the album, almost like a toned-down version of... Again, we get into the rhythmic beats, a thing all of these songs share in common with each other, and we keep on ramping up, then quiet down for just a second before your cerebral cortex is lightly tapped with a steel spike. WFLYTD, or by Impala, starts hard and ends bizarre. The titular song and opening to the album serves as our introduction to the themes of, as well as introducing us to our Vocaloid host, and even showing the stylistic choices of the album, like its normalcy in songs like versus its genuinely insane
you're perfect little teethy
that makes you want to scare people on the street when you listen to it. The contrasting nature of many of these songs feels like the point of the album. If it was just this, it'd still be a great album, but it wouldn't be saying this. Even the album art reflects this idea, bright and bubbly, while simultaneously violent and gross. A large assertion in religious philosophy is that moral evil or pain has to exist, because without it there can be no good, so we should appreciate the good and try our best to live with the bad. I think the mistake made here is that bad is seen as an unnatural state, when for so many people, it seems like bad is all there is. WFLYTD, or appears throughout its runtime to acknowledge a specific type of obsessive love, one which goes as far to become harmful to both parties. Is a hyperpop love song that repeats the lines, I wanna control you, but masks its message in the sickly sweet melody. Other songs like compare its love interest to bubblegum, saying they want to chew them until, or finally being interrupted by the message just straight up being yelled at us.
Rip your fucking teeth out and serve to me on a silver platter!
Even the title is a sweet sentiment at first glance, but at a literal interpretation of the statement is the embodiment of harmful obsessiveness. Science is, throughout its runtime, critical of the most harmful daily practices of humanity. Loss of independent thought through consumption of popularist ideology, rejection of satisfaction, procrastination, narcissism, all in a groovy enough package to ignore everything being said, if you're not listening. The Money Store feels paranoid in execution and lyrics. The song I've Seen Footage being especially hard-hitting in a time where assassination, war crimes and horrible tragedies spread like wildfire on social media. Maybe we've all become a little too desensitized to this content to a point where we forget that it still has an unthinkable effect on us. It is weird that in a year, brat went from an obvious insult to something almost to be aspired to by certain people. And the definition hasn't even changed. Vanity, attitude, it keeps it all. I can accept this isn't good for me, and I'm not a good person, but what else is there for me? Thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. This is something completely new for me, so if you liked it, please drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you want to. I'll be making more stuff like this, even if it doesn't get good reception. I really enjoyed doing this. It was quite fun to do. Oh shit, I forgot to talk about Machine Girl.